Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Keeping Up with KP. And welcome to Together Yoga and Pilates. This is our yoga, bar, mat Pilates sculpt room. And our reformer Pilates room is right next door. There's a class going on, so I hope you can hear me okay in this mic. I am currently halfway into week 4 of prep. It is a Wednesday, and this episode in this week, my main focus is on my mobility. So yesterday was a rest day for me, and on my rest days, I really just try to pack in all of the self-care that I possibly can. So first and foremost, I got my hair done, made a little visit downtown Chicago to one of my assistants, Lexi at Solo Salon. Go and see her. She does an amazing job. And then straight from there, I went to Rebuilt Strength and Performance in New Lenox, and I visited Kyle Richmond, better known as Dr. Kyle Richmond on Instagram, YouTube, all the social platforms. So I've mentioned that mobility is a big area of focus and concern for me this prep because I'm really focused on improving my posing, improving my training sessions, and I always have had tight hips for as long as I can remember. And I wouldn't say it's so much painful as it is uncomfortable. And I'm noticing a lot more aches and pains this prep than usual. And I mean, I'm 31. It could have to do with my age. Also, mobility work and stretching is not really something I've ever prioritized. And I know a lot of bodybuilders are probably pretty guilty of this, and not even bodybuilders, just people in general. I feel like we often overlook mobility until you get to a point of discomfort where you can no longer ignore it, right? So that's where I'm at. I really focused a lot at the beginning of my improvement season on my hip mobility. I would say the first 2 months into my improvement season, I was really good about it, warming up for my lifts. However, I was always just following what other people were doing. I didn't really have a lot of confidence behind the mobility work I was doing, and it helped a little bit. But now that I'm in prep and I'm noticing all of these aches and pains, I want to get very intentional with it. And so the last couple of weeks, I went down this whole rabbit hole on YouTube, Instagram Reels, like trying to research and understand mobility work better, because what I found is when I started doing my posing sessions with my posing coach, like I was feeling pretty beat up, and it was very apparent to me that like if I could move better in my body, I could pose better. I got to a point in this rabbit hole where I was like, I don't have time to guess. I would rather have somebody that knows the body better than I do be able to like look at me, tell me the things that I actually need to focus on for the goals that I am trying to achieve right now to get me there faster. So I actually met with Kyle a year ago. Ryan and I did, when his new facility opened, and it actually, I don't even think it was open yet, but he gave us like a tour. We kind of like got to know a little bit more about what he does. And so I followed him on social media, and I saw all of the content he was putting out specifically on YouTube with like his short form content of mobility work. And so I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks, and it was really helpful. But again, I wasn't confident behind what I was doing, and I was kind of just guessing and doing something random before each workout, which in my head was like, you know what, a little bit of something is better than absolutely nothing. And since it was helping so much, I reached out to him and I said, hey, this is what's going on. These are my goals. Can you help me with this? So I went and visited Kyle yesterday, and we did my initial assessment. This was an hour-long assessment where we had essentially a consultation, and then he put me on the table and we like really tested out my range of motion, where I felt certain pinching or where I felt things in the body when I did like internal and external rotation. He did a little bit of soft tissue massage on my lower back as well as the soft wave. So then he ran me through a mobility program that he put together specifically for me that I'm going to be doing daily. So today is the first day I'm doing my mobility program on my own. I'm going to do it here in the studio. It is a lower body day for me today, but right now I'm going to look, I got my own little folder. He wrote it all out for me. So we're going to do this together, and then I'm going to do my posing, and then I'm going to do my lower body day a little bit later in the day. I will be meeting with Kyle next week. So I'm going to kind of take you through a couple times throughout this week and see how I feel implementing this daily, and see, I'm just going to see how things go. All right. So my first one is going to be a hip 90-90 internal rotation stretch, 2 minutes per side. Okay, and we are going to set a stopwatch for 2 minutes. This was actually surprising to me because I was doing the 90-90s, but I was sitting in it for like maybe 20 seconds tops. So what I learned is that you need to sit into a stretch for 2 minutes. So I am doing 2 minutes per side. That's it, daily, of this specific exercise. My main thing is I always have pinching in my hips, and for my posing, when I have to turn my body to the side, I need to have space in my glute. And so I'm really limited in that. I also don't feel a lot of the movements in my glute because of how limited, how tight my hips are. So I was pretty surprised because when I was just doing my own thing with the mobility work, I thought like the exercises that felt pinchy were the things that like I needed to do more of. I thought maybe like the more I like stretched into those pinches, the looser it would get. And that is actually not always the case. Like most of the things I were doing actually weren't helping me. So that's where it's really important to like not guess. Okay, pause. It's been 2 minutes. We're going to switch to the other side. So okay. Also on these, it is harder for me to sit up straight, and the goal is for like both glutes to be on the ground. This glute is not on the ground at all. So I'm just gonna like do what I can, and hopefully, doing this every day for 2 minutes per side, it's going to help me like stretch into it a little better. But I'm not saying what I was doing on my own wasn't helping me at all, but there would be a way better use of my time than kind of like the routines that I was doing and trying to like lean into those pinches. That's why it's essential for me. Like, I don't have a lot of time to spend on this stuff. Like, I need to be very efficient with my training, with my posing, with my stretching. And so this just like removes all of the guesswork so I can get super intentional with it. By the end of my session yesterday, like I felt so much better. I went home and posed and I had a much better posing session. So I can already tell you this is going to be like very valuable for me. Okay. Moving on, we are doing a hip 90-90 lift off. So I'm going to move to the other side. And again, on this, the goal is to be seated, both glutes on the ground. I am not there. So I'm going to lean onto the ground, and my lift off is going to be for 8 to 10 reps, and I'm going to do 2 sets each side. So the lift off is going to be this back leg, and it's just trying to not use my lower back because that's another thing that I do. Sorry, I'm going to try to count here. All right, that was 12. So we're going to move to the next side. Again, I'm focusing on not using my back on this. This does not look like much, but like I am literally shaking. We're going to do 2 sets. So back to this other side, and like I literally like sitting up, I can't even like lift my foot off the ground. So all right, and last side. Okay, and you guys, this is just 3 exercises. It's taking me a little bit longer because I'm bringing you guys through it with me, but we'll see how long it ends up like taking me all together. So this last one is going to be hip airplanes, 5 reps for 3 sets. So this one is a little bit challenging for me. So let's see. I'm going to turn and come all the way up. Then we're going to move to the other side. And we're going to do 3 sets of 5 on each side. Last set. Honestly, like, it feels good. I'm not going to lie. I would never normally spend this much time doing this, and I would also have never thought about doing it as like sets, to be honest, which is silly. No different than like, training in the gym when you think about it. The problem is I can't count. So I think that was 5. All right, last side. This already feels so much better. Wow. Okay, so that is my personalized mobility program. I feel so much looser. I'm doing barbell hip thrusts today. I'm doing leg press. I'm doing step up. So I think this is really going to help. I'm going to bring you through my training and show you a working set of each exercise today. I'm going to be doing this for the next week, and then I'm going to follow up with Kyle and see how I'm doing, see where we're at, see how I've improved. I'm looking forward to seeing how this helps me with my posing daily. I feel like more excited to pose, like knowing it's helping me, and to see like what kind of improvements I can get from that. I will touch base in a couple of days when I'm doing this again and see how we're doing. All right, I'm going to do my best with recording this today. I'm going at 90% today, and this is my 3rd working set. I left about 3 in the tank on those, but I can already tell you in my first exercise, my hips feel so much better. I feel like I can really like get into the movement. I can feel it more in my glutes than normal, and I just feel like I can move better, and that's just my first exercise. For leg press, I'm going a little lighter. I'm supposed to be doing the same loads, but I'm having some pretty sharp knee pain. So. February and I'm in a tank top outside. It feels so good. I was unable to show you 3 exercises because of how the gym is laid out. It is so dumb. The machines are literally all on top of each other. So, and it was like peak time. It was very busy in there. So like, I like my personal space. I don't like to feel crowded. And plus I didn't have a tripod. Sorry about all like the weird angles. So I was just like obviously setting my phone on things. But I didn't show you lying single leg curls. I didn't show you machine glute kickbacks, and I did not show you seated abductors. I'm hoping to be able to take you guys through this lower body B workout at a more dead time in the gym during this season prep. So how I was feeling mobility wise after doing my hour yesterday with Kyle and today the first time on my own. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know how to describe it, you guys. Like, I am so used to pain and weird, like, pinching. There's some sort of animal. It looks like a fox. Sorry. I don't even know how to explain that training because it was strange. The only bad thing was, like, I was having really sharp knee pain, so I kind of had to be careful on my leg press, and I didn't go heavy on my lateral single leg step-ups. So I did the same thing last week. I took it easy on both of those. I don't know why I'm having like this weird sharp pain. Something I did notice, because we did like the shock wave in my lower back yesterday, and he said I might be a little sore. I really noticed it on the reverse hack squat, and I also noticed it on the lying single leg curls. Like, not pain in my lower back, but I almost feel like I shouldn't have been going as heavy, because maybe on those exercises I was using more of my low back, like maybe my core wasn't engaged as much. So that's the only thing I really noticed, but nothing like bad. Like, I have never had training where I could move like that before. So that's pretty incredible for just after 2 sessions. So I am so excited to implement this. And my posing today, I did like a 10-minute earlier after I did the mobility, and I was able to move so much better in my posing. Like, honestly, when I committed to this, I was like, oh, this is just one more thing I have to add, because I have my cardio, I have my training, I have my posing, and now I have my mobility. But like, I don't even care. Like, I want to do all of these things. And it's weird because posing at the beginning of this, just a couple weeks ago, felt so daunting. Like, I was like avoiding it. And now, like, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I want to pose. Like, I'm just at the point where it's like, I want to get better. Like, that's all I want to do. I'm feeling good. Again, that training was, we were going for 90%. So leaving like 2 to 3 reps in reserve. I do check in tomorrow. So we'll see. We were just basically trying to pull back on intensity a little bit these last 3 days between check-ins, so we're gonna see. But I will check back in with you guys in a couple days when I am doing my mobility and see how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. All right, you guys, it is Saturday, so it's a couple days after my last mobility. We are doing mobility now. I've had a full morning in the office, so I'm just popping next door before I go and train lower body A. So I'm just going to yap here while I run through my mobility routine, and I start with 2 minutes in the 90-90 hold. So we are still in week 4 of prep, kind of rounding it out. I've been checking in twice weekly about after implementing the high day. We're just like kind of monitoring the body and weight and the look and kind of just like seeing how things go. So my coach and I have been in closer proximity than normal. I usually check in weekly. This week we did pull back on intensity and cardio for a few days, and everything kind of improved. So we're just sticking on that until I check in again on Monday. My glute is still not on the ground, but I'm sure you can tell with my energy levels that prep is starting to prep a little bit. It was also a pretty big week for me. We had our Galentine's event that we hosted and the end of my 6-week challenge. So a lot of work. And so that was on Thursday. It is now Saturday. So still kind of tying up all the loose ends with that, with like announcing raffle winners and getting the photos back and posting, and it never ends, you guys. It's endless. But I do love it. I will say something that I am proud about. This is the first event that I did not abuse caffeine. Typically, I will have 1 to 2 energy drinks on event day, and I didn't do it to myself. That's the first time in 3 years of any event. And so I was pretty proud of that. And as a result, because typically after an event, I'm like so overstimulated that I lay in bed at the end of the night and I like stare at the ceiling for like hours. And I will say that did not happen. I was tired and I slept well, but I did not wake up well rested, which could be because of prep, could be just like, the accumulated stress of it all. I don't know. But once again, today I did not wake up well rested. I'm feeling very tired. I'm feeling a lot of fatigue. And so it is my hardest training day today. But I will say, taking the time to do this mobility work, it really helps. So, what I've noticed so far with this mobility work is less aches and pains for sure. I've kind of been doing it at different times of day, depending on what I have going on. My lower body days, I've done it prior to training. This is my second lower body day incorporating this. So, we'll see. But I already know it's going to help me so much, which is why it's not hard for me to take the time to do this. Last but not least is our airplanes. So this one I feel like is the most effective. I mean, they're all important, I think, but I definitely feel this one a lot. And it's only 5 reps each side, but we're doing it for 3. I will say with the Arnold coming up, I'm feeling very motivated and inspired, following along with all of the pros. So that helps. But yeah, this week has been energy wise. I'm pretty sure my mic went out on that. But I check in with Kyle again on Monday to build on our mobility routine. I check in with my coach on Monday to kind of assess and see what's next. Game plan with my coach is really, we're trying to get my body weight to come down a couple more pounds before we feed me back up. So it's been, not much has changed weight wise the last couple of days. So we'll see after I get 2 more training days under me where I'm at on Monday. Full disclosure, I am not feeling my strongest today, but I am maintaining and I'm leaving 1 to 2 in the tank, reps in reserve. I feel like I have to reset a lot on this because my feet always slide and I can't do this one without shoes, but I do feel like I can get deeper quicker. Like normally I feel like a lot of tightness in my hips on this and I don't feel it as much. Another full disclosure, I forgot my headset today and I have like 3 times this last week. I learned this from my coach, but when you don't have your headset in, you're not listening to music, it makes you less emotional. And it's true because I finished my lower body A training like 25, 30 minutes quicker. I also was less emotional about the Bulgarian split squats. Very effective training today, had very little pain. I could move into my hips, my glutes. I had a lot of unilateral movements, Bulgarian split squats, single leg RDLs, and kickbacks. And man, you guys, this mobility stuff, it hasn't even been a full week and it's been a game changer already. So I'm super excited about that. But today was quick, efficient. I recorded one exercise, but I just needed to get in, get out, and I have a day off tomorrow. So excited about that. So let's get out of here. We're back. It is Sunday, end of week 4 of prep, and tomorrow is my check-in day. Tomorrow I am meeting with Dr. Kyle to go over my mobility routine. So end of day, 5:10 p.m. and I am doing my mobility routine now, and then I'm going to do my daily posing, and I'm just gonna yap while I'm going through this. So, all right. We're gonna sit in this for 2 minutes each side, and today was Ryan and I's first day out of office together since January 1, and it is February 22nd. So if that tells you anything about the daily grind, with this being our first day out of office, it was nice because we got to sleep in a little bit. I was awake at like 7, but I let myself sleep till like 9. And then we kind of got to have a slower morning, went to the gym, trained back. I was off my phone all day. I did not do any social media. And then when I came home, I spent like 3 hours silently and manically cleaning my house. And nobody talks about how therapeutic that is. Like, I really needed that. Energy wise, I am not feeling super energized. Even though I got some extra sleep, I wasn't feeling super well rested today. I did feel motivated still to get through my training. I've come to find that nothing has anything to do with motivation. When you are limited on time, you just do what you have to do despite how you're feeling. You know, mobility work and posing don't sound like the funnest thing to do in the world right now. Based on how I'm feeling, like I would much rather just, you know, put my feet up and hang out with Ryan, but I would never not stick to my commitments because it's so funny. Like when I wake up in the morning and I'm up, but I'm just like laying there still, I run through my posing routine in my head over and over and over and over and over again. So I am motivated to pose because the weeks are flying by, you guys. I'm going to nail it this season. I don't care. I'm interested to see what tomorrow's check-in will be like, what kind of feedback coach has, and I'm also interested to see how we're gonna build on this mobility routine. Can we just take a minute for my sweatshirt though? Like, how cute. Shout out to my friend Alex. There's really nothing like a clean room, clean sheets. I'm gonna wash my hair, clean hair. I think back when I was a normal person, this is what Sundays were more about, you know, like resetting. I haven't had a normal Sunday in 3 years. 10 minutes. That took me 10 minutes. All right, now time to pose. You guys, I'm dragging.
God, thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. If I take the blame, put it all on me. I just pray that I will end up lonely. This world drives me real crazy and out of control. Make you wanna pull out and let go.
Good morning, friends. It is Monday, February 23rd, and we are in week 5 of prep. It has been a crazy morning for me. I had to check in with coach. I did my cardio, had my breakfast, and now I am on my way to Rebuilt Strength and Performance to have my follow up mobility with Dr. Kyle. And I am running a few minutes late. My check-in this morning, I was down 2 pounds since Thursday and 3 pounds since last Monday. So coach wanted body weight to come down before we feed me back up. I am sitting at my lowest body weight this prep so far at 131.3 pounds. All right, you guys, I just left my follow-up appointment with Dr. Kyle, and you can see this nice little indent on my forehead, but you are going to want to tune in to my next episode because so much really good information. If you have aches, pains, if you lift weights, literally anybody, you will learn something from this next episode. I really love doing this, not only for obviously the benefits that I'm getting from it, but just connecting with other business owners is so huge. And I don't really have time to do that unless it's productive, but being able to support another local business that adds value to what I'm doing, it's a collaboration, right? But also with me sharing the journey here on YouTube, Kyle built his following from the ground up. And that's the great thing about genuine people is like not gatekeeping, because I learned so much about creating content, like which tools to invest and buy in. Like I have spent a lot of my time researching like the best cameras, the best mics, the best this, the best that. And honestly, starting out, I'm just kind of like really on a business owner budget and just got what I could. But he told me today like the product's worth investing in and the stuff that will just take it to the next level. So just like talking to a like-minded person that has had so much great success in his own business from YouTube and social media and being consistent, like it's huge. He told me he posted on YouTube every single day for 3 years. And that's how he's gotten to the point where he's at. That's led to so many opportunities where he's now having to take time away from the office to travel with NFL players. And it's empowering. Bottom line, you just have to find your people. Okay. And I feel very happy and lucky to have Kyle as part of my team, helping me reach and achieve my bodybuilding goals, my business goals, all the goals. This episode was a little bit longer than what I normally post, but personally, I don't mind longer episodes. So you guys need to let me know. Like sometimes people like the quick 12, 15, 20 minutes. Again, this is a little bit longer, but I haven't really shown you anything besides like the mental landscape, right? So I took you through my training, I took you through several days of my mobility and kind of gave you some updates within. Like this is like a whole week in review for you rather than just like one day in instance, which I like filming that way. You guys let me know. I'll try to like switch it up and do some different things, but definitely tune in to my next episode because there is so much good information that you're not going to want to miss. So I want to thank you all for the support. I think I'm like at 80 subscribers. I'm getting like close to 200 views. But it's a slow build, you guys, and any support is really 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 appreciated. So, with that being said, please subscribe, like, comment. Feel free to slide into my DMs on Instagram and let me know what you guys want to see more of. If anything resonated with you here in this video, like I want to talk about it. But that's all I've got for you guys this week. I'm still awaiting feedback from my coach, and I'm heading into week 5 of competition prep. I'll see you in the next one.